Meditation really means to think constantly, continuously of one subject. Therefore, whenever we constantly think about anything, whatever it may be, we are really indulging in meditation. Meditation must always have purpose because nothing is purposeless. Even without bringing yoga into the picture, we are almost always meditating on something or the other. When we are looking for a higher standard of living, or when we are keenly pursuing better job, we are constantly thinking of it. Correct definition of meditation is to think constantly of something. The only sense in which yogic meditation differs from our normal meditation is in the aim of that meditation, the purpose of that meditation. Therefore, we have to meditate with a purpose in mind, and when we come into the field of yoga, that purpose is evolution, or the fulfillment of human life to its highest perfect condition. For instance, 10 of us are sitting and talking. One of us has to catch a bus. His mind is only on the bus. One thinks of food, one of cinema, another of drama, and so on. One meditates on his wife by thinking continuously about her from the time he reaches the office till he returns home. But his sensory organs work in different directions. When he signs his name or talks on the phone, the eyes are looking at what they should look at. For another person, even though he is involved in his work, his mind concentrates on how to destroy his business rival. His mind is thinking only about that rival. So if we see in reality, what is the application of the mind? And if we analyze it from a non-religious and non-spiritual angle, we are meditating all the time. The ears are listening, the eyes look at what is going on, but nothing sinks in because the minds are thinking of something else. Even for a moment, we do not stop our meditation. A person who wants to make money, for instance, would think about ways and means of making money by fair or unfair means, and how to escape getting caught while doing so. Basic difference between spiritual meditation and mundane meditation is that in spiritual meditation, we need to turn the direction of our outgoing senses and make them look inward. The eyes should see what is inside, and the ears should listen to the words of God residing within. In spirituality, this is what is known as meditation. In Raja Yoga, we generally start with meditation. There is a great underlying philosophy in it. We are now gathering ourselves at a point so that our individual mind may leave its habit of wandering about which it has formed. By this practice, we set our individual mind on the right path because it is now metamorphosing its habit. When this is done, our thoughts naturally do not go astray. It is important that we regulate the rest of our senses. Like a computer, we gather the functions of all the senses, analyze them, and interpret the meanings. This we call the act of the intellect or the mind. So, if the mind is turned inward, these senses would close too, just as water supply can be stopped by turning the tap off, or electric supply can be stopped by switching off a switch. The sense organs get deactivated when the mind is turned inward. Meditation is a practice. Meditation is not something that works on and off like an electric light, but it is a process which is supposed to produce a result after some time. The time duration depends on the intensity of your meditative practice and upon the growth of devotion in your heart. Whatever we think of, that is the object of our meditation. And all the ancient systems, modern systems of spirituality, of occultism, all over the world, they say the same thing. You will become that upon which you meditate. This is an old law. As you meditate, so you become. Therefore, in spiritual practice, the object of meditation is extremely important since it determines what the person is going to be or to achieve. What should be the object upon which we should be thinking? It should be as subtle and pure as possible to get the results accordingly. The goal is the highest emancipation and realization of the ultimate, which is nameless, formless, and attributeless. In our system of meditation, the meditative effort is to realize this ultimate, but the goal being abstract, the ultimate is very real thing, but abstract in nature, it is impossible to meditate directly upon it. Therefore, masters have chosen divine light as illumination, not as a source of light, namely a flame or an orb, etc., and as the object of meditation. And what we are required to do is to seat ourselves calmly and start with a mere supposition that the divine light is there in the heart. We need not imagine or even visualize divine light. It may appear to you, but you must not strive to have this vision. One cannot assume divine light to be God, but it is the presence of God in the heart which sheds divine light. You are required to have the idea, which my master says is a mere suggestion or supposition, that there is divine light, but you should not try to see it or anything like that. All human endeavor may be considered as consisting of two factors. First, the aim or the goal of the endeavor, and second, the way of achieving that aim, that is, the laksh and the upay. Either of these alone will be useless because any goal without knowledge of the means or the way to achieve it remains unachievable, and also Knowledge of the way without knowing what goal we are aiming for is useless. It is therefore necessary that we have very clearly fixed in our minds the goal which we are aiming for and strictly follow the path or the method which alone can lead to the goal. Thoughts come and go. We are supposed to treat them as uninvited guests. When we have thoughts, it is our attention, it is the power of our attention that gives the power to the thought. A thought by itself has no power. It is the attention that we give it that gives the thought its power. We should not fight thoughts because then they have a tendency to fight back. We need not worry about what comes out during meditation because these things are coming out to leave forever. If we think of them and keep them in our thoughts, they will go back inside and will never be cleaned out. One has to wait for things to leave and not force it. If we are inattentive to these things, they will disappear automatically. By meditation, we are able to exclude such thoughts without fighting with them, without attending to them. Then the mind achieves a state of existence, a state of being, where a single thought alone can exist at a time. Meditation has nothing to do with concentration, at least not in the process. Meditation is the process that leads to the result, which is concentration. The successful practice leads to concentration. In fact, what we achieve by meditation is a state of mind where the mind can be said to be concentrated. That is, we do not concentrate, but our mind is in a state of concentration. Prayer is begging, whereas meditation is receiving. We have therefore nothing to beg from God, but only to put ourselves to an idea of receptivity by proper meditation. If we do this systematically, without worrying too much about advice or other things, including progress will automatically come. It is essential that we clear our mind of all accumulations and do meditation systematically. Meditation should not be attempted with force. We try to relax and adopt an attitude of submission to the divine will so that it can work upon us without restraint. In meditation, all that we do is to prepare ourselves by quieting the body and stilling the mind and opening the heart to invite the divine presence to come into it. This is a very beautiful explanation since it shows that in the ultimate analysis, our achievement of the goal depends on His grace, which alone can make it possible for a mere human being to strive for and realize his final emancipation. This question of grace is an exceedingly important one. Meditation is the highest form of communication and the most important necessity too. So, this exchange of thoughts at the higher level is to join one's heart with that of the Master, to see the happenings in one's heart as happenings in Master's heart, like mirror reflections. Charity begins at home, as an English proverb says. This means that you must first of all feel good and loving towards yourself. Thus, you will be able to go towards others, not before. Open your heart. Yes, open your heart to Him for His work. He will take care of the rest. You have to accept yourself, love yourself. We can learn to meditate only by meditating. One learns to bicycle only by riding a bicycle. One does not learn the theory on the ground and then step on the bicycle and master it instantly. One learns to ride a horse by riding a horse. Of course, there's always the danger of being thrown off, and we have to be prepared for it. So meditation itself teaches us how to meditate. That is where we start from.